You could have had Biden, but you still can, actually. Malarkey. Post-presidency, Joe Biden is struggling to land lucrative speaking gigs. His inner circle is left wondering if it's his hefty asking rate of $300,000 per, or the rider that could give J-Lo a run for her money, including a private jet and expenses for 5 staffers. According to the New York Post, some former aides say the real issue may be his off-script rambling and the perception that it's time for the 82-year-old to step out of the spotlight for good. Former Obama staffer and Pod Save America host Tommy Vietor is among those saying Joe Biden needs to stop giving speeches. He and a political commentator, Brian Tyler Cohen, reacted to Biden's first major public address since leaving office, and they didn't hold back.
I'm grateful to Joe Biden for the things he did for his decades of service. I don't want to hear him giving speeches right now. I'm sorry. I know that's petty. He doesn't know me anything. My opinion doesn't matter here. I don't want to hear. I'm very mad at Joe Biden. So I've been reading Jake Tapper's book about the Biden administration and the steps taken to kind of hide his decline.
Yeah,
it is enraging.
Yeah, look, I'm in the same boat as you. Obviously, what he was able to do in office is worthy of praise. From a political perspective right now, already Democrats have a problem, not just with what happened in the 2024 election itself. A candidate who loses has a degree of toxicity that kind of sticks to them. We have a gerontocracy problem in our party. And so the reality is that the last thing we should be doing right now is giving the biggest platforms to the people who really are holding back the party more broadly in a moment where we are desperate for and desperately need generational change.
We need some rebranding. Yeah. We need to look forward and not backwards. And look, throat clearing about Joe Biden aside,
right.
Like, we don't want to talk about his administration right now. People were pissed. They're mad about inflation.
Yeah.
Democrats are mad at the administration for how it went for Kamala Harris. I get that he's giving speeches. It's probably paying the bills, but I don't want to hear them.
Well, I don't think Biden gets it. April 15th, Biden gave his first post-presidency speech at a disability rights conference in Chicago, mostly stuck to the script. But he did spark some backlash with a childhood anecdote that included the phrase colored kids. Here's a reminder.
I had never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time and I was only going in 4th grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by. They never turned right to go to Claymont High School. I wondered why. Asked my mom, why? So in Delaware, they're not allowed to go to school, in public school, with white kids, honey. That sparked my sense of outrage as a kid.
When it goes off script. Still, some folks in Biden's orbit are not blaming his rambling public remarks for the weak demand for him. They're blaming his agent. Instead of signing with the usual go-to firm for ex-presidents like the Harry Walker Agency, Biden went with CAA, better known for, okay, Brian, better known for repping celebrities. Are you with CAA?
I used to. I've been with everybody, but I'm no longer.
Could have counseled him. They are known for repping celebrities better than landing 6-figure speaking gigs at big corporate events. Critics say that misstep may be why his post-White House speaking schedule is looking a little light, because he did make millions. We'll remind you, hitting the college circuit after his vice presidency, and we have some of the larger paydays from there. You have Lake Michigan College, Drew University, 190,000 was at the top. University of Buffalo, 180. I mean, it went on and on. He made a lot of money. During this time in the White House, though, he did spend years talking about increased tuition, the high rate of it, railing against the skyrocketing boost and cost and student debt, which still others theorize that, oh, well, that's it. He's not gonna be doing, the speaking tour with colleges. I don't know how that affects corporate bookings. But that's probably the issue here. Maybe you should go first, Brian, since you know about CAA. Is that what really went down here? Is that why Biden's not getting booked and earning tons of money?
Well, all agents suck. So I mean, I'm not sure I would blame it. I blame CAA. I mean, they're all, they're they're all glorified secretaries. Sorry, but I have a great agent who is more than that. But secretaries, insofar as they answer the phone and they plug holes and they slot you in and they claim that they got that for you and blah. I'm not going to talk about the agencies, but I'm also just like, do we? First, I fault anyone who goes to see Joe Biden speak. I would probably, I'm not sure I would be captive in a room for that. And I think he does go off in a sort of pre-war ramble a lot and frequently. He did that when he was president about things. And so there are all these slips and there are all of these, third rails that he touches and always has. I sort of don't, you guys, I sort of don't care that he goes out there and I am surprised how much money these folks do earn, because they earn in one speech what one family would hope to make in a year, just to live and put their kids through school and to put food on the table and, have those sort of like kitchen table moments that Biden always talked about in Scranton when he was growing up. So which bills to pay. I mean, it's really grotesque how much money they make. But I also, I feel like, this is one of those things where I don't want to criticize someone for just going out there and practicing their sort of free speech right to say whatever the heck they want. He's not a reflective guy, and he's certainly not talking about where we are now. That's a more important issue. I hear him just kind of waxing poetic, like an old senior citizen would by a fire.
Wow. Well, he's not asking for as much as Obama, 400,000. So they're pointing to that. That's 25% reduction. But Cenk, are you of the opinion that he's perhaps diva behavior, or those around him aren't being honest by even asking for that much? The private jet,
Well, first I want to correct Brian. This one's not free speech. It's very well-paid speech.
Yes, you're right. Stand corrected.
He could do free speech on the corner of his street. That's right. So, all right. There's a hidden factor here that I'm going to tell you guys about. So the first factor is obvious and not at all hidden as to why he's not getting as many speaking engagements, and it's not his agent. I guarantee you that part of the story.
You're not fighting hard enough.
Yeah, I guarantee you that part of the story was planted by the Harris Walker agency or whoever it was that were like, oh yeah, well, if he had signed with this agency, of course he would have gotten it. I'm like, yeah.
I think it was Sean Penn who said switching agents is changing deck chairs on the Titanic.
So the obvious one is it's hard to get paid for a speaking fee when you can't speak.
Oh, wow.
Right, I mean, it's awkward, but it's true. I mean, he's gonna mumble and not be able to finish his sentences, and he's gonna conclude by telling you we defeated Medicare. And so, like, what are we paying for here? It's and it's actually, like, to Brian's point, it's a little embarrassing. You kind of want to avert your eyes, right? And so, okay, so that's the obvious part. The non-obvious part is he has a lower threshold than Obama, it's than the Clintons, etc. And he's not even getting it, right? So why? Because a lot of times, not the universities, that's a little bit of a different animal, but especially the private sector folks, like the banks who paid Hillary Clinton millions and millions and millions of dollars between the time that she was a senator and the time she ran for president. They pay that money because they're currying favor with that politician.
Good point.
And that is why Kamala Harris says, well, I might run again. I might run for governor. I might run for president, because she's upping her speaking fee. Because if you have a chance of getting back into power, then you're going to get paid a lot more money from the banks, this, that, and other people. But the Biden family is dead in the water politically. So like, and I said this so long ago, back after Hillary lost in 2016, they leaked a rumor that Chelsea Clinton might get into politics. Because why? To increase the speaking fees of Bill and Hillary Clinton. Because if Chelsea goes into politics, maybe the Clinton saga lives on and this dynasty lives on. So you got to keep larding the pork in their direction so that you curry favor with them. But in Joe Biden's case, I mean, that brother's gone, right? And who's going to pick up the mantle? Hunter, the modern artist extraordinaire, Hunter Biden.
That's not selling.
Yeah, maybe he could win an election in Ukraine because he's such a great gas expert there. But here in America, the Bidens are done. That's why the market is not offering up a lot of money to hear them speak.
What about Obama? And I mean, I understand he's still wildly popular with some, hardcore Democrats, but would you then argue that because he still remains a power player, so close to power, a decider, that he's in play?
Oh yeah, for sure. So here's how he's in play. So number one, first of all, there is that's not the only factor. So especially for the universities and for a lot of other places, just the prestige of bringing President Obama in. And President Obama has so much more popularity and prestige than Joe Biden does, and gives a great speech, et cetera. So those are also factors. It's not just binary, right? But in terms of, okay, yeah, but Obama already served 2 terms. What's the difference? No, every time the Democratic Party gets in trouble, they do a poll that includes who? Michelle Obama. And Michelle Obama almost always comes in second, right? So that Obama name is still enormously valuable, and you never know when they're gonna get back in. And so that's why, hey, the 400,000 to Barack Obama might be a pretty good investment.
I would like to just shout out to my agent, Aaron, and just tell him how much I love him.
I was thinking he's like texting you, like, don't say my name.
Oh yeah, no, he's pissed.
And I'd like to shout out to anyone who'd like to invite me for a speaking fee. You never know, my kids could go into politics.
Hey, listen.
Be great.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.